Okay.
Hmm.
What prompted you to come here?
Okay, what prompt?
Oh yeah, like what made you want to come to
Prompted.
the United States?
So, two reasons. One, officially I'm a refugee, and the second, it's called the reunion of the family, because I already had different family members living here before me for many years. So the government kind of encourages for the family reunion. So the parents are not separated from the children, or the grandparents from the grandkids. So kind of double reason.
Hmm. How did you and your family feel about leaving your old country?
Uh, Kind of relieved. I was very, very happy to come here. We were worried that because you don't know what to expect, you don't know if you will be successful here, if this country will truly adapt you, because that's what you hope for. It will be your adoptive motherland.
And then where were you originally from?
I was born and raised in Crimea. That's the part of Russia that our current, well, not our, but the president of Russia annexed back to Russia. At the time when I was born, it belonged to Russia. At the time when I left the United States, which was over 20 years ago, it belonged to Ukraine. So my passport says that I was born in Ukraine, but I'm not Ukrainian, I'm Russian. And so now it's back to Russia, but it's that part of the world.
How were you treated when you first arrived here?
Great. But because we were legal refugees, we got support from government. My parents were allowed to go and take free English classes at the special school for refugees. We got for a year medical insurance for free. We got help with getting not help, but like little, because you don't know how the new country functions. So there was organization that helped us figure out how for my brother to get to high school, or he was in high school at the time, how for me to go to college, how for my parents to find job based on their qualifications. So we because I think we were legal immigrants, we got great treatment and great help.
And then how long did it take you to immigrate? Like the process, I guess.
From the day we submitted our application, they told us it takes 2 years, and it did take 2 years. From the moment you submit the documents, you wait for a year before they invite you for an interview, because you have to interview at the embassy in Moscow. And after this, they give you half a year to sell everything and pack. And they say if you don't leave within the half a year, you lose your status of refugee. So you have to quickly figure out how you're gonna kind of end your life there and prepare you for your life here.
And then what were your expectations of America, and were they met?
Yeah. I think the whole world thinks of it. It's a country of opportunities. It's a country where there's true democracy. In comparison, where I'm coming from, absolutely. You know, there is such thing as the American dream, having an education that allows you to get a good job, and the good job allows you to have a family and a little house in the suburbs. I think like the American dream. So we had that, and for sure I was not disappointed at all.
What were your fears, and did any of them come true?
For me personally, it was very, I guess, immature fear. I just finished college in Russia, and I left my boyfriend at the time there, because the question was whether either I stay with him. There was no legal option for me to take him with me.
Mm-hmm.
So I chose my family and to go with my family. I thought, what if I never find another wonderful man? Because he was a wonderful man, I just couldn't take him with me. And I was a young girl in my early 20s, so of course I was worried that what I'm gonna do, what if I don't find, because I wanted to have a family and get married, and so fortunately I found my love here.
Yeah. How did your immediate family feel about immigrating?
The same as me. I have no more family in Russia. We absolutely everyone immigrated here. The grandparents, the aunts, my parents, my not immediate family, and we all. They warned us that the first 2 years will be extremely hard while you are learning English, because we were all professionals there. Everybody had a very wonderful, job. Everybody had education, but here you don't know how it's gonna transfer here. So, but we all utterly happy here.
And then did you guys all immigrate at the same time, or was this kind of in?
No, we kind of staggered, because me personally, with my immediate family, we were the last link in the chain.
Got it. And then how is your life different here than in your old country?
I feel like I'm never judged here on my accent or on my background, at least not to my face. I don't know what people say behind my back, but at least in my face, in my so many years here, I feel like I've been treated equally as anybody who is born here. Where there, I was born and raised, and my family's there, and you never. There's so much injustice and anti-Semitism and prejudice and at the time when I was living in the country, the democracy was just starting, but it's not true democracy. So the quality of life, what you can't say, you can't be true yourself. You kind of worried what effect it's going to have on your life, because my great grandfather was arrested for making a political joke, and he died in prison for political joke. So you always watch your back there, what you say, and you never felt truly free.
Of course, yeah.
Where here it's very different.
And then was there a language issue when you first came here, or was it hard to overcome?
For me, no, because I majored in languages in university, and I finished the university in Russia. So for me, there was no problem at all. For my parents who studied the language in university, but it's been how many years? It was 20 years ago before they came here. So they did not have a good command of English. But after a year, after taking classes, and they set a goal, and we're going to learn, we're going to improve, we're going to work on it, and they're completely fluent now.
And then were there any other countries that you were considering going to, and why did you pick the U.S.?
It's almost, yeah. We did not, in a way, the country picked us, because it's the only country that takes, well, at least at the time, that took refugees, and the country where already we had the family here. And the family was maybe 10 years before us, and they were saying how wonderful it is for a refugee. We were not, I can't even explain that. It's all over in Europe, it's the problems that we faced in Russia, they kind of, maybe not to the same level, but they're very similar to in terms of politics and the anti-Semitism. So they're kind of the same in Europe. To me, I see a big difference in being even in France and the United States. I see a big difference in terms of anti-Semitism, prejudice, freedom of expression. I feel like we are much more free here.
And then, what did you bring with you when you came, and was it hard to decide of what to keep and what to let go of?
So we were allowed by I don't know who gave us these rules, but I guess the embassy, when we interviewed, and I think they give you guidelines of what you can and cannot bring. So they said you can bring one bag per person. So you could not ship your furniture, your books, you can only whatever you can fit in a large bag. So of course we thought we're going to take things that have sentimental value, like photographs, some little, decorative pieces that maybe come from generations and generations back that were in the family. So maybe everybody, I remember, took their favorite book. I took Van Gogh book, everyone liked the Van Gogh book. Some clothing, but you couldn't, think if it's one bag per person. You had to pack all your life in one bag. You can't take much.
Of course. And then, last question, are there any customs or habits from your old country that you try to keep here in the U.S., and are they hard to maintain?
No. If I want to, we can practice any, I feel if there were Russian traditions that were so special to me and I wanted to continue them here, I could. I see no obstacles of any kind. There are tons of Russian people, specifically here in Chicago. There are Russian clubs, Russian daycare. My son went to Russian daycare. There is a whole Russian community, so if I could find a job speaking Russian, so if I wanted to. The thing is, I didn't want to. I kind of like being the citizen of the world. I live so, me personally, my family, that you, by looking at me, you wouldn't say, no, she's so Russian, or she's so French, she's so this way. We kind of, we eat sushi that no Russian person ever, you don't ever would have that in Russia. Now even the Russians, yes, but growing up, I didn't even know the word sushi. and I enjoy it. But that's the only part probably of Japanese culture that I know of or appreciate to that level. I like Irish dancing. If I had a daughter, I would probably encourage you to take Irish dancing. Do you see? So there's not one aspect of my culture that I'm missing or I need. If I like something, like there's certain Russian food that I crave for, okay, I make it, or my mom makes it, or you can go to a Russian store and buy it. But there's nothing that I cannot do that I did there. There's nothing so that unique or special that I can't have it here.
Yeah, that was perfect. And is there anything
Thank
else
you.
you'd want to add?
No, I know. Unless you have questions.
I think that's all. But yeah.